I was born in Detroit, Michigan, and I was born actually on an Army base, Selfridge Air Base, because my father was career military. And my mother was a nurse, and they met during World War II. And she was originally from Scranton, and that's why we moved back here. I thought they were great parents, and they gave us good values. I had a very strong faith instilled in us. The value of education was very much an integral part of what they instilled in us. My father retired from the military, and that's what brought us back to this area.
I grew up in Dunmore. Our side of the street was Dunmore, and if you crossed, it was Scranton. And my parents had 8 children. We had a girl, 6 boys in a row, and then another girl. So we belonged to Christ the King Parish, and back then they actually had a school. They had a school that was taught by the IHM sisters. So I have a very soft spot in my heart for the IHM sisters. My mother, very strong person, always held the family very tightly together. And my dad worked very hard his whole life, and we had a very loving, great Irish Catholic family. And my mother used to say, when it came to church, that unless you're on your deathbed, you're going to make Mass tomorrow. So that was kind of the house that we grew up in. I was asked to go on the board. My dad was on the board for a couple of years. And like I said earlier, I've always had a real soft spot in my heart for the IHM sisters. And once I got to Marywood, it's kind of magical, A lot of times you get on boards and there's lots of people and your voice is not really heard. And at Marywood, every voice is heard. And we've had a great board, and I absolutely love Sister Ann. And the year she went in as president, I went in as chairman.
I had come to know, just through my years living here, about their mission and what they stood for. And I really, really liked that. I liked how they stood for the underserved. And I liked how they stood for social justice. And then when I got to know them, that was the cherry on the sundae. They're such a spunky bunch. But the sisters are a great bunch.
Yeah.
They really are. I mean, they're all so different, but, they all share that common thread of faith and education and standing up for the disenfranchised. I mean,
Sister Ann especially, because she has that missionary background. And it's truly a global environment. I mean, when you go to campus, you see a lot of students from all over the world. And I think that says volumes about Marywood as well.
We support the Countryside Conservancy in preserving green space. Also the IHM sisters, they're all about all God's creatures.
There's a lot of students at Marywood that are still first generation, and part of their mission is freedom through education. And, when you look back at the roots of Marywood, I mean, it was started as a college for the coal miners' daughters, almost 100 years ago, and now we come close to celebrating the centennial. Some of the funds that we've given to Marywood have helped from a scholarship standpoint, so families who could not afford an education, freedom through education, I think that truly is the answer, and I think Marywood gets it very well, and that's certainly close. That's certainly one of the core missions and core values of Marywood.
It's the great equalizer. You could lead, you can affect change. Dick got the call, but I was floored, so touched. Dick was on the board all those years, and you're not forgotten, but we certainly didn't expect anything of this magnitude, and we're really deeply touched and honored.
Very humbled. It's
Yeah.
a great, prestigious award. We're thrilled. And then when we found out the other recipients, we were like delighted because
Yeah,
we love
we love Tony and Hans. We
Sister
love
Cor as
them.
well. We're just
And Sister Core.
just
Yeah.
wonderful people. So
Yeah, couldn't be in better company.
So-
Thank you, is all I have to say, because just because you didn't get an award doesn't mean that you haven't done something for Marywood, or you wouldn't be sitting here.